President Trump's battle to secure our southern border continues, despite the Democrats' unwillingness to work with the administration. Here with more, White House Deputy Press Secretary Hogan Gidley joins me now. Hogan, one of the things that we were learning is that there was a recent poll that said something like 53% of Americans are tired of the congressional Democrats investigating Donald Trump. And then Donald Trump backed it out this week on it and basically said, you know what, you want to investigate things, there's not going to be, any infrastructure. Talk about what's going on in Washington.
Well, look, this is an effort by the Democrats. It's like the Russia collusion witch hunt hoax 2.0. First of all, they accuse the president of colluding with a foreign power, of treason with no evidence, no proof, and now they're coming out and saying he's engaged in a cover-up with no evidence and no proof. And not one journalist has said, hey, Madam Speaker, what is the evidence? And also, if you have all this evidence, why do we have investigations? Just show us the evidence and let's get this thing going.
What is the cover-up? Cover-up of what?
Right. It's literally open for the public. This didn't have to be made public so that the American people could read it, but the president wanted this information out there. It's an open book. In fact, even the little 1/10 of 1% piece that's unredacted, right, yeah. Absolutely, the piece that's unredacted that the Democrats can go see, not one single Democrat has availed themselves of that opportunity.
What's amazing about that is that they haven't, yet they want to complain. But you know what? I want to talk about immigration, Hogan. The president came out and he said, look, enough of this stuff. What we want is merit-based immigration, not based on the family, chain migration, visa lottery. You hit the lottery, you come here. We want something where people come here based on what they can do in this country and do for us and assimilate. And I remember I used to swear in newly naturalized citizens. It was the happiest day of their lives. I mean, they worshiped the ground of America that they were naturalized to become citizens of. What is going on, and why are we having so much trouble?
Well, right now it's random. It's by chance that you get into this country. It's not set up to protect the American people. It's not set up to make America a better place to live and to work. We have people that are draining our economy. The president said, listen, we can all agree on a couple things here. America is great. We want immigrants into this country. We're not even going to reduce the number. What we want, though, is to change the construct of the people who come here and base it on merit, what they want to do in this country. There are people all across this globe who would benefit this country so greatly, but they can't get in here because the system is clogged up. The Democrats still will not lift a finger. I mean, I appreciate the fact that so many now have found religion on the matter, and they know we have a crisis, but they've still done nothing to change it.
Big of them. Let's talk about the law, that 1996 law that nobody talks about.
Shockingly, they haven't talked about it much, but this is a great move by the president. This law was put into place in 1996 and signed by Bill Clinton, and it basically says when an immigrant comes here, they get an American citizen sponsor. But that sponsor is responsible for the immigrant. If the immigrant goes on to a government program like welfare or takes money from Medicaid, that American sponsor has to repay every dollar that immigrant uses from the federal government. That has not been enforced in more than 20 years, and this president is going to start enforcing it.
Okay, but that is so everyone who comes here legally, who gets a visa to come to this country, if they go on any of the public services, then their sponsor is responsible to pay for those, whether it's Medicare, whether it's disability, housing,
welfare, food stamps,
everything. Okay,
correct.
So if that's the law, how can we possibly let 200,000 people in 2 months come in who I would bet my house don't have more than $20 in their pocket, if they even have that?
Well, that's, again, we're back to the point, which is Democrats won't secure the border. They won't give us proper funding for screening at the border. They obviously are fighting us on the wall. We're literally in the process of building more than 120 miles of new, big, massive wall along the southern border. We expect to have 450 miles complete by the end of next year, but the media is reporting only 1.7 miles.
Why
that was one
that?
piece. Well, it's because they don't want to admit the fact that this president is actually doing something.
But can't you show them pictures and say, look, this is what we've done? Why don't you give them the proof?
Well, it's so funny because I actually was with the president. We flew to California. We went to Calexico, and that piece of wall itself was more than 2 miles, and they still don't report it accurately. I mean, what he's doing on the border, Barack Obama spent 2 years diddling around. This president actually has done more in 8 months. We're building massive sections because he actually cares about protecting the American people and putting forth the resources to do it.
I have an idea. How about I come to the border, and I'll meet you, and we'll take pictures of the miles of the border. How's that?
I'd love to do that, and the American people deserve to see that we're protecting them, and that's what this president's doing.
Gidley?
Of course, of course.
Deal. Hogan Gidley, thanks so much.